Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. Inside your brain, right now, billions of neurons are firing. Signals racing, colliding, canceling, amplifying. Thoughts appear, emotions rise, impulses are held back or released. And hidden inside this vast storm of activity is a single type of neuron that no other animal on Earth has. Not dolphins, not chimpanzees, not even our closest evolutionary relatives. Only humans. This neuron stayed completely invisible to science until very recently. For decades, neuroscientists believed the human brain was simply a scaled-up version of an animal brain. Same parts, just more of them. Bigger cortex, denser networks, stronger connections. Nothing fundamentally new. Then, in 2018, researchers looking deep into the human cortex found something that shattered that assumption. They called it the rosehip neuron. The name sounds gentle, almost poetic, but what this neuron does may be one of the most powerful reasons humans think the way they do. To understand why the rosehip neuron matters, you first need to understand a quiet truth about the brain. Thinking is not just about activating neurons. It's also about stopping them. Every thought you don't act on, every impulse you resist, every emotion you regulate depends on inhibition. Neurons telling other neurons to slow down, quiet down, or stop entirely. Most animals rely on inhibitory neurons too. They act like brakes, preventing chaos in the brain. But the rosehip neuron isn't just a brake. It's more like a precision-guided steering system. Unlike typical inhibitory neurons that affect broad areas, rosehip neurons target extremely specific parts of other neurons, especially the dendrites, the delicate branches where neurons receive incoming signals. This means they don't just reduce activity. They fine-tune it. They decide exactly which signals matter and which ones should be silenced. Think of it like this. Instead of dimming the lights in an entire room, the rosehip neuron adjusts the brightness of individual pixels on a screen, and that level of control is unheard of in the animal kingdom. When scientists compared human brain tissue with that of mice, rats, and other mammals, they expected to find a similar cell somewhere. They didn't. The rosehip neuron simply wasn't there. It appears to be uniquely human, both in structure and in behavior. This raises a haunting question. Why would evolution create an entirely new neuron just for us? The answer may lie in the most human struggles of all: self-control, abstract thinking, and inner conflict. Every time you stop yourself from saying something you'll regret, your brain is suppressing a powerful impulse. Every time you hold a complex idea in your mind, balancing logic against emotion, your brain is negotiating between competing neural signals. The rosehip neuron seems designed for exactly this kind of negotiation. By tightly controlling how information flows in the cortex, it may allow humans to pause, reflect, and override automatic reactions, not eliminate them, but regulate them with extraordinary precision. This could explain why humans are capable of delayed gratification, moral reasoning, and long-term planning at levels no other species demonstrates. Animals act. Humans hesitate, reconsider, and sometimes choose against instinct. Even more fascinating is where these neurons are found. Rosehip neurons appear in the upper layers of the cerebral cortex, the very regions associated with consciousness, imagination, and high-level reasoning. These layers are responsible for turning raw sensory input into meaning, narrative, and identity. In other words, the rosehip neuron may not help you see or hear the world. It may help you interpret it. There's another possibility, even more unsettling. The same mechanism that gives human self-control might also make us vulnerable to anxiety and overthinking. If your brain has the ability to finely tune and suppress signals, it also has the ability to get stuck in loops, rumination, self-doubt, mental simulations of futures that never arrive. The rosehip neuron doesn't just filter noise, it shapes internal reality. Scientists are now exploring whether disruptions in these neurons could be linked to uniquely human mental conditions, such as schizophrenia, depression, or obsessive thought patterns. These disorders are rare or fundamentally different in animals, which lack the same neural architecture. In a strange way, the rosehip neuron might be both a gift and a burden. It gives us control, but it also gives us complexity. And perhaps that's the real story here. For centuries, humans searched for what makes us different: language, tools, culture, intelligence. But the difference may not be about what we can do. It may be about what we can stop ourselves from doing. Inside your brain is a neuron that exists to say, not yet, not that, or think again. A neuron that doesn't push thoughts forward, but sculpts them, restrains them, and refines them until they become something uniquely human. The rosehip neuron is small, rare, almost invisible, but without it, you might not be you.